It's funny that the Jaya arc would have been over before it started if Bellamy had kept the same energy he had the entire arc when Blackbeard was coming out of the bar. Why didn't you just try him? Just try this guy. Try Blackbeard walking out of the bar with 50 cherry pies. You've been challenging everyone that looks strong on Jaya this entire time, but Blackbeard, you let him go? Oh, I would have loved that. I would have loved Blackbeard just decimating him. Cocky, arrogant son of a... I'm in a weird position. Well, in a weird spot with Blackbeard because I really enjoy the character. I like him. I even made a video about him saying that he did nothing wrong and, you know, a bit facetious, but some things I really believe in the video. But for me, Blackbeard presents an interesting conundrum. He's not my favorite character, but you have to respect him and what he brings to the story. It's really an interesting timeline with Blackbeard because from as long as I can remember, the idea was that Blackbeard joined Whitebeard's crew at 16. Not sure where I heard it, but it was just floating around. Now confirmed, Blackbeard joined Whitebeard's crew at 12. From 12 to around 37, 36, around there, 37, Blackbeard was a part of the Whitebeard pirates. I would say I look at him differently, but I don't. And the reason why I don't is because I knew he was on Whitebeard's ship for a while. I knew that he waited and took advantage of his opportunity. These were things that I knew. So just knowing that he was on there for 26 years, it doesn't really change anything for me. I don't hate Blackbeard for what he did. To Thatch, to Ace, to Whitebeard, because there's a level of dedication there I can appreciate. As a personality, it's really hard to evaluate Blackbeard. At the time Blackbeard joined Whitebeard, I'm not sure if his plan was to find the Yami Yami. However, that's what he said. He said the fastest way to find what I was looking for was to go on someone like Whitebeard's ship. So I stayed on Whitebeard's ship and I almost gave up, but then I found the fruit I was looking for. But Thatch, a crewmate, had it. One thing you can say though that maybe doesn't give him a pass, but you understand, is that he's probably really cranky. Just think about it. This guy doesn't sleep, so he's probably super tired, bags under his eyes, ran out of cherry pies, so he's pretty cranky. He takes people's devil fruits and he kills them. Blackbeard is the quintessential pirate in One Piece. He goes around, he takes what he wants, period. Doesn't matter affiliation, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter where it is. I'll go get it. Even recently, with the abolishment of the Shichibukai system and what's going on with Kobe and Sabo and the Nefertari family, Blackbeard is moving out to get whatever the world government doesn't want to use. But what makes him different? What makes him tick? Blackbeard is completely different from Luffy, but they, again, I've said it before, they're two sides of the same coin, where Luffy, he appreciates the journey and he wants to go on that journey with his crew to find the One Piece and cherish those moments. Blackbeard doesn't really care about all that. Yeah, he would want to find a One Piece, but if he can find a shorter way there, yeah, I'll go purchase my crew if I have to. I'll get 3 devil fruits if I have to. I don't care. I want power. In 966, it was revealed that Blackbeard does not sleep. I went and I researched different sleeping things and different sleep deprivation causes and symptoms, and for the most part, it's just sleep apnea, insomnia, nothing we can really use. Before I move on, I just want to give a shout out to this channel, and I'll link it below, but this guy, he looked at the story and he evaluated from chapter 134 when Luffy said to Sanji, hey, do you know people in the snowy regions, they don't sleep at all? And the reason why they don't sleep is because if they do, they will die. Sanji asked him, what are you talking about, right? And then he tied that into Blackbeard, and looking at Blackbeard, the picture that Oda showed us, it's a moon in the background and Blackbeard is sitting there and it's like crying. And it looks like snow is on the ground. And then this ties in really well with Blackbeard not sleeping because he's from a snowy island. South, North Blue. Back then, I want to say 2 years ago, a friend of mine, One World HD, he created a theory about Blackbeard in which he said that Blackbeard probably was one of the people participating in experiments with Vegapunk and Judge. We know for a fact Judge was working with Vegapunk on different things and experiments. We know for a fact Blackbeard had a devil fruit book. I know the meta thing is to think Blackbeard did all this on his own. Like, he thought of this brilliant plan, this brilliant strategy, and he figured it out, and he's freaking awesome. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think Oda showing us Orochi's benefactor, in a way, is positioning us to accept what's to come with Blackbeard. Hear me out. One Piece in general, everyone, when you get to somewhere, a benefactor is needed. Something is needed. From Luffy with Shanks, Sabo with Dragon, Ace with Garp, and of course Garp can go for Luffy as well, but you catch my drift. Bonnie with Kuma. The list goes on and on of people having that person in their life that propels them to greatness, and it kind of molds them into who they are now, for the most part. Of course, sometimes you can't escape your blood, destiny, and just your deep-rooted traits, but there's always someone behind you to push you to greater heights. Zoro had Kuina and her dad. Sanji had Zeph. Even people that aren't directly your parents, more than likely it's them. Bellemere, they push you. For Orochi, he had the Hag, and she filled his mind with conspiracy theories, and she helped him along his path. and she helped him attain power. For Blackbeard, what if there's somebody like that? Somebody that put him on this path, saw that he was different and special, and probably was mistreated for being different and special, and said, let me help you. Look at Doflamingo. It goes on and on, where you have someone that just molds you and sets you on a path to power. Big Mom. It's there right in front of you, but who is Blackbeard's benefactor? Something I try to do from time to time is to break things down. Well, I always try to do that, but sometimes people get upset because, oh my God, Brago, that's obvious. Why are you talking about that? That happened recently in a video, honestly, where they're saying you're explaining things too much. But honestly, some people just don't get it. Some people just don't read One Piece as much as we do. So for Blackbeard's body, it's different. That was highlighted by Marco as well in the Marineford War, where he said Blackbeard's body is different. Maybe that's why he was able to eat 2 devil fruits. We know Marco, he's the doctor of the crew, so more than likely he's checked Blackbeard before. Whitebeard conspicuously makes an exception for Blackbeard killing Thatch and saying no one to go after him. And I think that rule of not killing a crewmate was directly put in place because of his experience with the Rocks Pirates, but he broke that rule for Blackbeard. He made an exception, rather, for Blackbeard. He felt something from Blackbeard. It's also interesting that after meeting Blackbeard again at Marineford, Whitebeard says, you know what, Teach, you're not the person Roger's waiting for. And the thing is, it's becoming more and more clear. The more we learn about Roger, the more we learn about Whitebeard's and Roger's relationship, what Roger's looking for. And Blackbeard obviously isn't that. But the thing is, because Blackbeard isn't who Roger's looking for, doesn't mean other people aren't looking for Blackbeard. Because I feel like to each action is a great reaction. So with Whitebeard saying Roger isn't looking for Blackbeard, there's another side to this. Because when Blackbeard went to Impo Down, there was a bunch of cryptic information there. And this is specifically after Magellan defeated the Blackbeard pirates and Shiryu came in and saved them with the antidote and then they defeated Magellan together. But here's what they say. First, Van Augur, you coming to us here was fate. Talking about Shiryu. And then Doc Q says, well, fortune has been good to us again. And then Teach says something that hasn't been a part of his character a lot, because a lot of people presume that he's a coward and that he's not a true D. But he says, matters of life and death are decided by fate. Those who fear death are the losers. And then he laughs and says, you should live in the moment. And Shiryu responds and says, I already know what will happen to me if I stay here. I've been waiting to meet a man like you. So for Blackbeard, as despicable as he is, there's somebody waiting for him. There are people that want to follow him. I've said this before in other videos, but I'll mention it here again. Roger found something, and then he left something behind. He added to it, and he's waiting for someone to inherit his will, his dream, his vision, his idea of freedom, his ideals. My inclination is that Roger is the modern day pirate king. The person before Roger that was heralded as such, well, didn't get that official name, obviously, but the strongest and most notorious pirate was Rocks D. Xebec. He had Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, Shiki, all these people under him, which shows the type of person that he is. I would not be upset at Rocks leaving something behind for Blackbeard to find, and Blackbeard is following Rocks' will. But how the hell does that tie into Blackbeard's devil fruit and Blackbeard's body? Blackbeard could just be special. I think there's a certain knowledge that he needed to get to where he is, and they said that Rocks is dead. They said he's no longer with us, which didn't really sit right with me, but let's say he is dead. And again, the world government, they're not credible sources when it comes to confirming deaths at all. But let's say he's not dead. Let's say Rocks D. Xebec never died, and he came across Blackbeard, and he found someone that could inherit his will, and he's been funneling Blackbeard information and resources this entire time. Let's say Blackbeard was an experiment of Judge and Vegapunk, in which they did different things on him, so now he can't sleep, so now his body is different. The thing here is that there are so many possibilities with Blackbeard. It could literally go any way. Here's my conclusion. With Blackbeard not being able to sleep, having different souls, rocks, all this different stuff. Back in Jaya, there was a moment in which Luffy and Zoro, Blackbeard is walking away, and Nami, they're having dialogue, and then, you know, the famous moment where it's not him, it's them. The consensus, it could be perceived that Luffy and them, they were talking about Blackbeard and his entire crew. That's why they said them, because they could sense the stronger people around the area. Let's say it's not that, and they could sense that Blackbeard does have multiple beings within him. We've seen Oda show us how it is when you consume someone that has a devil fruit. We don't know what happened to Mother Carmel's soul. Could she have been reincarnated into Napoleon? Crazy theories, but that's where we are. Blackbeard at this point cannot sleep. He doesn't sleep. Of course, this plays into the several day battles. Fighting a man that doesn't need sleep, walking into that battle, it's intimidating. Now thinking about it, Marco and the remnants, they had less of a chance. Even with Marco regenerating, he's fighting someone that doesn't need sleep. That doesn't necessarily equate to unlimited stamina, but Jesus Christ, this dude doesn't need sleep. If Blackbeard is being inhabited by rocks, right? How did it happen? Why did it happen? dragon. Is Rocks his benefactor? When would Oda show us something like that? If that's the case, if Rocks is his benefactor, then the goal is to bring the world down to his knees. Get rid of the celestial dragons. Get rid of those fucks. Because Rocks, that's what he wanted. There's a theory floating around as well saying that Shanks was probably a celestial dragon and that he was saved by Roger. And people were saying that, oh, that's what Roger was talking about in regards to babies, him and Buggy. But Shanks was a celestial dragon. That's why he gets the respect, where that could be the case. What if Shanks and Blackbeard, right? Those are two kids, and they're not the same ages, but two kids from the same era, roughly around the same age, but they're on two opposite sides. But the thing is here, why did Shanks feel the need to pass off that will to Luffy? Because he's Blackbeard's age. If you understand the level of threat that he is, why would you not take that on for yourself? You left that up to Luffy for the most part. You went to Whitebeard and said, hey, do not send Ace after him. There's something that Shanks knows about Blackbeard that I'm sure once he was fighting Blackbeard overwhelmed him. Let's theorize really quickly. What could have happened between Shanks and Blackbeard for Shanks to say, yo, Ace is not ready? He even said, I know Ace is really strong, but he's not ready. Not for that. I wonder if Whitebeard was more receiving to Shanks and what he was saying, if Shanks would have told him what's going on with Blackbeard. Because if we theorize and say, well, Blackbeard was fighting Shanks and Shanks thought it was over, he knocked Blackbeard down, knocked him out, and then Blackbeard came out of nowhere. And that's going against canon because Shanks says he was not being careless. But let's go to old school TV. Something that was very popular and common back then was if you have two people in the same body, what happens is when you're fighting, you fight one person and you learn this one person. And say you beat this one person. Person gets back up, but now that other soul is controlling the body. So it's a completely different fighting style. So while you've gotten used to this person fighting a certain type of way and you thought you found the counter to this fighting style, he comes back with something completely different that you couldn't prepare for. Because you've been fighting this guy, let's say for days, and he had a set fighting style. And for someone like Blackbeard, knowing that he doesn't need sleep, you could fight him for a very long time. I'm not sure if the backstory between Shanks and Blackbeard is going to revolve around Blackbeard going after Shanks for having the Gomu Gomu no Mi and him thinking it's the Yami Yami no Mi, because they look very similar. Bro, it's so many things there with Blackbeard. It's not easy to hone in on one thing. So I just want to make sure I cover everything here as far as like what I'm thinking. That's why I didn't want to put it in the review, because I knew my mind was just out there. After reading that, for a while I just thought to myself, like, what is going on here? And it's so interesting that this guy was perfect for this devil fruit, in which he has an insane tolerance for pain. The darkness fruit, it amplifies the pain, but he takes it and he comes back like it's seemingly better than ever. He took a full power quake fist from Whitebeard and got right back up. Destiny is something in One Piece that we don't really talk that much about. We talk about fate and will, where it's passed down and it's inherited, not already set in stone, but you still have to carve it out. In One Piece, there's certain times where I wonder, like, was this devil fruit specifically made for this character, right? Because again, it's a story, it's a wall here that I'm breaking, because obviously Oda, he's writing a character and they have this devil fruit, so I'm going to amplify their personality to suit this devil fruit. But for Blackbeard, it's a darkness devil fruit, right? He's a fucking dark individual, double the pain, but he can't turn into a Logia, but it doesn't matter because Blackbeard is hella durable and has crazy endurance. And with this devil fruit, it can help him get other devil fruits, because something that's key is that he told the Blackbeard pirates of his plan, because they said, if this doesn't work, are we leaving him? So I believe that the darkness fruit, that was the first thing. He needed that. Once he had that, he could go about getting other devil fruits. But how does the darkness fruit take a devil fruit to somebody that already has a devil fruit? There's a loophole that he found that you don't find out unless it's been done before. The more you think about it, the more it's just like he has to have someone guiding him, or someone had to have guided him to this point. You don't experiment like that until you have solid information that this would work. Because again, back to the conversation with his crew, his makeshift crew that he had from Impel Down, he never tried it before, but for some reason he knew it would work. Also, something we have to factor in is journals. Odin had a journal. Why wouldn't Rocks D. Xebec have a journal? Something that he had been documenting the way of the world and how to burn it. His plan, the different devil fruits he planned to use, the knowledge he had gained. Of course, we don't know enough about Xebec to make that speculation that he was this all-powerful, knowledgeable guy, but how can you not? He had Whitebeard, Shiki, Kaido, Big Mom, all these people under him. That's a different type of person. And even if they weren't following him just because he was him, he made it so that all of their interests aligned onto one ship. and created something that we've never seen and will never see again. So that's it for me. I think we have to wait and see, but I just wanted you guys to understand my thoughts and just like think through it with me. I have no definitive conclusion with Blackbeard, but I think that's the beauty in it. It's just a discussion. It's just understanding what's going on here and putting it out there for people to get what you're thinking. Sometimes bringing people in, you get the most out of that. So I'll be looking for you guys' comments. Leave them below. Comment away. Just leave them all down there, man. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. Yeah, that's about it for me, guys. Leave your thoughts below. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. I'm loving the Blackbeard lore and hype. I can't wait for more. I really can't, because where do we go from here? He's an anomaly. One time he's talking about fate and things are destined, and one time he's crying when he's about to die. Which one are you? Are you really a D? Did you take up this D mantle just because of your benefactor rocks D Xebec? Is that why you occupied the Pirate Island's beehive? Is that why your ship is called the Saber of Xebec? Are you carrying out Xebec's will because you're the Saber of Xebec? But if it's 3 heads, say one is Xebec, one is Blackbeard's own will, who's this other person? Maybe we don't know that yet. Maybe that's yet to come. But it's all amazing to think about. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Only One Piece can do this to us. Like the video, subscribe. Thank you to my patrons as well. You guys are really supporting me and I appreciate that. More live reactions will be up. If you want to see my full live reaction to One Piece episode 915, that will be a part of my Patreon. More live reactions to come, Vinland Saga, that finale. Every One Piece episode going forward will be on there. If you want to support, you can become a patron. The tiers, I haven't worked them out yet, but you can just join right now and we'll figure it out. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Again, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Like, subscribe, catch you in the next one. Peace.